And welcome to another Race Talk Live here on a beautiful Tuesday night. Setting in, my buddy Bill is on vacation, which pretty much well-deserved vacation for all he's been going through. He's out in Colorado with his family, so that's pretty cool for Bill. He needed that little time off. But setting in for Bill tonight is my daughter Jessica. She's normally doing a vaccines thing, doing all the results, and so big special thanks to her for doing that, but now she gets to talk.
We'll see about that.
We'll see. Okay. I never known you for being a without words to be spoken, but
There's times when it's meant to be.
we did get to do some racing around the area. Of course, Lina was off for the
Fair week.
the county fair, and you went to the demolition derby. How was the demolition derby?
It was good. The compact class had 21 entries, so that was
That's
pretty
nice.
pretty cool. Matt Bruce out of Wichita, he helped some cars out at 81 Speedway. He ended up winning the compact class.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. Got to watch Chicken and Chad Montgomery do their thing, and unfortunately during the feature for them, Chicken was knocked out pretty quickly, but Chad went on and battled, pretty much kind of got a little ganged up on, I guess you could
Did
say.
he?
Yeah, it was.
Imagine
it was
that.
unfortunately team derbying against old Markley, but he finally got the other. I think it was the limited world class is what they were running.
Uh-huh.
He got the other driver completely out of the arena. Well, when he took his last shot, he high-centered himself on the berm.
Oh,
So good old little truck compact ended up beating the limited world class.
Is
so,
that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but he fought against two cars going at him at the same time.
I talked to Jabba.
In his minivan.
Yeah, in his minivan. I got the opportunity to watch him unload that thing last night off of the trailer. He fired it up, still ran. He ran that whole derby and never broke the windshield in it.
And I think the best part about Jabba getting out of a minivan that he just got done demoing is that he opens up the door like he's just getting out after cruising on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So
He showed me. He got in
He
and
don't
out
weld
of the
the
door.
door shut.
He don't weld the doors shut. But
most of them do.
he was telling me about Chicken's deal. How he hit. I mean, he hit just
barely in the right front.
Yeah, and it
And
sheared the spindle off, and
It
the
was
wheel
gone.
Yeah, and he was dropped down, and I guess he spun around in circles for a while until he got timed out. Is that right?
Yeah, he ended
Yeah.
up getting timed out,
Yeah.
pinned over in I guess what you would call in our racers world turn 2.
A turn, yeah.
Turn 2 down
Turn
the middle.
2 in a demo.
Down the middle of the backstretch. Yeah.
Okay. So, got the demo and done. We did get to do some racing at RPM Speedway and Thunderhill.
And 81.
And 81. You,
I got the 81 results right here.
let's do that right there on your phone first, and
All
then you
right.
can do the rest.
81 Speedway in the Hornets class. In 5th place was Haley Cash. 4th, Slade Moore, Corey Bice, Brett Barber, and Philip White Jr. picking up the win. In the Thumper class, in 5th place was Chris Hawley. Mike Burren finished 4th, Clint Smith, and then the Millers came out on 1 and 2, Scott, and then Craig with the win.
Craig picked up the win.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Street stocks, in 5th place was Parker Schrag, and what I believe is he is only 15,
He's like real young.
14 years
yeah.
old.
Yeah, he's real young.
So he's got it
coming up.
going. Chris Perky finished 4th. In 3rd was Adam Schrag. 2nd, Bradley Shipman, and picking up the win was David Blevins. Rookie modifieds in 5th place was Rustin Wilson. 4th was Fred Freeman, Ricky Boneham, Andrew Wallace, and picking up the win was Jerry Ritchie. Go down here to the AAA modifieds. Brody Robe in 5th, Johnny Cammon in 4th, Kevin Newell in 3rd place, Patrick McManus in 2nd, and Harley Peary finishing 1st.
Way to go, Harley. He's an old Salina guy.
All right.
Used to be from Salina.
Regular mods, we got 5th place is Colton Eck, Tyler Davis in 4th, Josh Latterman in 3rd, Ryan McInage, and Cody Schneep picking up the win in that class. And it was also an NCRA modified class show. So we got Colton Eck. You know what? Actually, those are the same results. So the modifieds and the NCRA modifieds must have
That was the same deal.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks, Trace. Thanks for the valuable information there, Trace Ayers. We're gonna go on to Thunder Hill. Can I do? You want me to do these?
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
Talk NASCAR.
You're doing good.
Okay. Thunder Hill. In the hobby stocks, in 5th place was Wyatt Lehman. 4th place, Braxton Berry. 3rd place, Christopher Furborn. 2nd place, 1st and 2nd, brothers, Dalton Rodebaum in 2nd, and Nicholas Rodebaum picking up the win.
One of these days,
They're going to switch.
Yeah, Nicholas is going to let Dalton win. I think Nicholas has won, 5 in a row now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's on fire.
Okay. In the stock cars, in 5th place, we have Joe Sowers. 4th, Robert Garst. Kenny Ziegler, Brian Rigsby, and Mr. Jordan Grabowski picking up the win.
I might throw this in right now
Okay.
before you get to the modified deal, but Jordan has been running the modified and the stock car all summer long.
Going for...
I think back in 1998, he said, Keith White had a total number of wins at 56 wins between the two classes, or total number of wins.
In those two
Yeah.
classes?
Jordan picked up feature win number 56 in the stock car.
And 50s.
And 50, coming up 57 in the
mods.
modified. So
Nice.
he broke Keith White's record, and he's still got a lot of races left this summer.
Yeah.
So he's gonna set a pretty high bar for that.
And also
particular
another
deal.
shout out to him. I don't know if Jordan listens in or not, but congratulations to you and Whitney on about to have a baby girl. here
Yeah,
shortly. They're
that's pretty
just
cool.
announced they're having a girl, so
You know,
that's really exciting.
And yeah, and this whole show tonight is going to be concentrated on a family deal.
Right.
We got some guests coming up that's got kids that are coming up through the ranks, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Continue on.
Gonna make me a nervous wreck, that's
Sorry
for
to
sure.
interrupt.
It's all right. Sport mods, in 5th place was Austin Charles. 4th, Mark Smith. 3rd, Zach Nitch. And brothers again. I don't know. These brothers, you guys can't stay away from each other, I guess. Tim Stahlbaumer in 2nd, and picking up the win was Mr. Luke Stahlbaumer.
Yep. And before you go on with that,
Okay.
they had a no crash lotto.
Oh,
They called
yes.
it, where
it was up to
companies were putting money into this. It was up to $950.
Okay.
I got to give a huge shout out to these guys. I mean, there was cars that were spun on the racetrack and would drive off. There was guys with flat tires who were leaving the racetrack.
Doing it the way it's supposed to go.
Exactly. They were doing everything they could to give away this money, and they got her done.
All right.
Luke got the opportunity to draw out a pill. He drew position number 11, which ended up being a kid by the name of Ryan McGinnis.
Okay.
I went
Lucky
over and visited with him. He's a real young kid, just getting started in a sport mod.
Right.
He's been running the same tires all summer long.
Oh.
He had, limited, very, very limited funds as
Right.
far as racing,
Yeah.
and picked up $950.
There you go. There'll buy you a couple tires.
That was like the perfect person that this money could have gone to.
That's awesome.
I'm sure, everybody would like to have had it, but I went over
If
and
it was to go
talked
to
him.
somebody, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
couldn't have worked out any better. So
Okay.
to end up picking a high number for a guy, back in towards the back that, normally don't get big paychecks
Right.
at the end of the night.
You sure cashed out on this evening.
Yeah, turned out awesome. So yeah, congratulations to Ryan on picking up no cash lotto money.
Okay, so going into the modifieds, in 5th place was John Baker. Baker.
Baker, yep.
4th place, Alan Halderman. 3rd place, Brandon Conkrite. 2nd, Mr. Darren Fuqua. And again, talking about earlier, Jordan Grabowski picking up the win for number 57 in the 2 classes this season.
57 wins.
That is a lot
for the summer
of racing.
That is a lot.
I mean, if you separate the 2 classes, but that's still a lot of racing. Shout out real quick to Mike Pfeiffer. He just sent me the winners for Waukene for Friday night.
Good. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. So in the Sport Compacts was Jake Schween. Sport Mods, Blaine Walt picked up the win. Hobby Stocks was Garrett Hager. Stock Cars, Mr. Kyle Gus Pfeiffer. And in the Modifieds was Daniel Gottschalk picking up the win.
I went out there last Friday night to Waukene, and that was some awesome racing. That stock car race, Kyle Gus Pfeiffer. I don't know where he started. He started mid-pack. He worked his way up through there, and
he knows how to drive through traffic.
He normally, you don't never see him till the last
minute.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 laps.
Yep.
All of a sudden, there's Gus in the front.
Where did he come from?
And him and Mike Petersilly, they were going at it. They ran side by side. Kyle would pass Mike would pass him back, and ended up going back and forth. But they put on one whale of a race in that stock car class. That was awesome.
So we better get through let's head out to RPM Speedway real quick. In the hobby stocks, in 5th, Miss Brooke Russell. 4th, Spencer Hillbrink. 2nd was Tathan Burkhart. 3rd, Tathan Burkhart. 2nd place was Brady Benkin, and picking up the win was Garrett Hager. In the stock cars, Casey Woken in 5th, Trent Cleveno in 4th. Kyle finished off third that night. In 2nd was Mr. Travis Sherfick, and Mike Petersilly picking up the win there. Sport Mods, Shea Semino in 5th, Blaine Walt in 4th, Adam Weber in 3rd, Tyler Watts in 2nd, and Brett Berry picking up the win. And in the modifieds, Daniel Gottschalk in 5th, Kyle Rollletter picking up spot number 4. 3rd was Eddie Bellick. 2nd, Tyler Sutton. Nice run for Tyler.
Yeah.
And picking up the win, Dylan Sherfick.
And I talked to Terry Sunday, and they were all excited about.
I'm glad to see
Dylan.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see Travis get back into it too.
Yeah.
Travis
they said he just didn't quite have enough drive off the bottom in order to get by for the win, but to have.
You could probably just drive underneath Mike's left front and you'd be golden.
It's having it all hyped up.
Yeah. It's kind of somebody else I know. Decides that he needs to carry the left front. 4 tires are faster than 3, so we'll see what he has to say.
Goodness sakes. Gosh, get you on the radio and you start bashing people.
Just Trace.
Oh, the rest of this show is going to get exciting. Hey, we got a couple minutes left. We're going to go through some NASCAR stuff. In the truck series, Austin Wayne Self in 5th, Brett Moffitt in 4th, Tyler Dipple, Sheldon Creed, and Austin Hill picks up the win in the trucks. In the Xfinity series, Noah Gregson, Tyler Reddick, AJ Allmendinger finished 3rd, and I don't think he got disqualified this time. Christopher Bell in 2nd, and Austin Cindric picks up the win. And NASCAR, Monster Energy, Daniel Suarez in 5th, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick. And I don't know, I was watching this race, and I don't know whether I fell asleep.
You probably
with the fast forward button on, but I was on almost at the end of the first stage, and all of a sudden they're giving Kevin Harvick the checker flag. So it fast forwarded through that whole race.
You probably click it once, you fall asleep for 20 minutes and you're done.
I think I might have dozed during. I don't know, but anyway.
I always know how you hate to ruin the ending.
Yeah, I like seeing the ending, but anyway. So anyway, that's that. After our first segment here, Race Talk Live, live here at Maddie's, 1844 North 9th. I forgot to say that earlier.
You did. We'll have to
But,
give her a double shout out.
We got her in there now.
Yep.
I told her that Bill was gone tonight, that she was going to be sitting in, and
Oh, man.
she said no.
Yeah, I'm sure she said a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're not doing anything, come on down. We got a good crowd here, so come on down to visit and get something to eat. Good food here. So, we'll be right back after this time out. And welcome back to Race Talk Live here at Maddie's Grill and Chill, 1844 North 9th. I'm Bobby Potts, joined with my daughter Jessica. Thanks for sitting in for Bill, by the way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Got some really good guests here tonight. This is going to be, I think, kind of a fun little show. Got Trace Ayers, Tyler Bradshaw, and Justin Kinderknecht. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All everybody's mics work? Trace, you haven't talked. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
It works.
Yeah. Trace's works, so I can hear you. Justin, you and I were talking during. You don't have it on and off. You just talk. You got the good one. Justin, you and I was talking during the break that we're probably going to start off with you. How about that?
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, how's your summer been going? Let's just start right off from the start.
Long and miserable.
Long and miserable. You know, you being in the Mod Light, I don't know how many years you were in that, but so dominant in one class. And then you kind of got into this late model deal. Is it frustrating, to go from pretty much winning every week to being a mid-pack car?
Yeah, that's a little frustrating. The most frustrating thing, I think, is just the learning curve on trying to get used to the car. And then when you do think you got something going, you have terrible luck and break something or have a part failure. And just the money spent and work involved in this deal is a lot harder than it was in the Mod Light.
Tell us about your. You kind of got into this late model deal. You had a buddy from Wichita that approached. Did he approach you?
Yeah. He knew last year that I was getting out of the Mod Light, and he said he had a late model and asked if I wanted to drive it this year, and I told him I'd give it a whirl.
Okay. So, how hard was it to step out of the Mod Light?
It wasn't that hard. It's a great class, and I want to see it succeed, but that's why I think I needed to get away from it for a little while, just so that I wouldn't be the reason the class failed if it did.
Right, okay. Trace and Tyler, you guys have both been in this Mod Light class. Tyler, you're actually building, are you still building cars?
Yeah, I kind of dabble in it a little bit.
Okay.
We built 3 or 4.
Okay. How's your you haven't raced much this summer.
I've raced once. I actually, instead of building a Mod Light, I built a dwarf truck.
Okay.
It's really similar rules to Mod Lights, and I can actually run with the Mod Lights, but I can also go run some special events and things like that as a dwarf truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of why I did that. Said I've had it out once this year and won the heat race, and then had a driveline vibration, so I had to pull it off in the feature, but only once out this year so far.
Okay. And Trace, you've experienced the Mod. How many years were you in the Mod Light?
8 or 9.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Holy cow! I didn't think it was that long.
I think it was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
2000. Well, 10
Had
to
about four total seasons out of that 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, well, I was a part-time racer for the first, 6 seasons.
Well, then you got to be pretty competitive, there toward the end before you got out.
Well, you race enough races that people feel sorry for you and just let you do better.
Feel sorry for you. You think that was it?
Speaking of feeling
Let
sorry
you
for
lead
people,
14 out of 15 laps and watch you spin out in front of the field.
14 3/4 lap.
So, hold on. On a side note, I'm looking at Thunder Hill results here. Stock
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
Has Jordan Browski lost a race there this year?
Yeah.
In the stock car,
he's
yes.
lost one.
One?
Yeah, Robert
Nels
Garst
has
beat him
one.
one night.
That was 2 weeks
Well, I
ago,
shouldn't
actually.
say lost, but
Yeah, no, yeah.
Is that the only race that he hasn't finished first all year?
At Thunderhill, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
We were
the
just
season
talking-
last year, Beatrice and the mods.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
We were also just talking this season alone between the two classes. He has 50. He picked up 56 and 57 wins between the two classes.
Wouldn't that
Terrible
be-
season.
Wouldn't that, yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, he's
I
having
feel
an
sorry
off.
for that guy.
He's having an off year. So, you getting out of the mod light, getting in a stock car. Of course, this summer hasn't. Well, let's put it this way. Last year, you went through how many cars?
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, just 2.
2 cars.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Just 2.
Well, then this year you're still on the same car, but how many motors are you?
I will be on. Let's see. 1, 2. I think I'll be on my 4th motor.
Fourth
you have
motor?
To think
Yeah.
about it.
So which is cheaper, the cars or the motors?
The cars, definitely.
So you'd rather be buying cars than motors, huh?
Yeah, the cars are cheaper than motors. Definitely. And plus, they look cooler when you ruin them.
Well, another side note is how many races did you have on the 2 cars that you got rid of last year, or that
Oh.
decided to
Well, the one car lasted me 8.
8 races?
That's more than motors.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, we've just had some bad luck.
Yeah. So, what are we doing to fix it?
Well, I can't put together a 305, and then I put together a 327, and then we put a 427 in it with aluminum heads on it. It didn't last very long. So
Is that
I
the
mean,
one you got DQ'd for in Wichita?
Well, it had a turbocharger on it too. So the NOS
NOS
is what
kit.
the NOS has been killing the motors.
So it is.
It just pops the hole right out of the top of it. No
Well, you
pistons
need to-
left, big holes,
You need
everything.
to take your finger off that button.
Well, yeah. To keep up with these guys, I got to. Either that or I'm running away so I don't get run over.
Oh boy. Okay. So Justin, been mainly running all the NCRA stuff, and kind of a bummer that we had to cancel the class at Salina Speedway, but I mean it is what it is. Still competing at 81 and all the NCRA stuff.
Yeah, we've been I think all but one of the NCRA shows, and then all of the Wichita local shows. Ups and downs, mostly downs, but we've had a few bright spots along the way. We had a couple top 5s and ran 4th at the beginning of the year with NCRA. The night there was 32 cars, so that was a good run for us. But other than that, we ain't got much to show for it.
You were very successful in the Mod Light at 81 Speedway, and of course you've been having some decent, like you say, decent runs at 81 with the late model. What's it about the track that you like?
I don't really know. I've just always ran pretty decent there. I wouldn't say I like it. It's not even my favorite racetrack, to be honest with you. I just, for some reason, whatever it is, I usually go decent there.
Did you go do were you was at Belleville? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Belleville.
Okay, well, tell us about it anyway.
No, we ran good in our heat race. We ran 2nd, and I think I started 5th in the feature, and I think I was going to get a decent finish out of it.
I remember
and,
where this. I know where this is going.
Oh, he's giving you a sorry excuse.
I remember-
He doesn't have bad luck at Belleville.
I remember now.
I think
what
another
happened.
member of the family has a hell of a lot worse luck than him.
Yeah.
That's true.
I remember. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we decided at the last minute. Dusty Leonard changed gears and wanted to put a little bit more mile an hour in the car because it's kind of like Daytona. There, you unload with what you got, and that's pretty much what you got.
Yeah.
The only thing you can change is gear, and we changed gear right before the feature. And they've got a 411 rear end, and I've got a 486. So we ended up with a 618 gear in the car instead
boy.
of the 520 that I thought I was putting in.
So you was
And
hitting the chip a little bit.
so yeah, we had a Wichita gear in for Belleville, which doesn't work.
Wow.
Oh shoot!
Took
Yeah.
off really well. About ran
I'll
over
bet
Travis
it did.
Johnson.
I'll bet it did take off.
Yeah, I thought we were going to the lead for about 1/8 of a lap, and then I realized what was going on.
Sounds like one of my stories. I was fast for the first quarter lap.
Okay, you got to pick that up.
Yeah, Trace.
You've got you a couple wins, well, at Wichita.
Yeah.
Got one,
You would have more if you
Two.
wouldn't get disqualified.
two, well, one,
No, 2.
two.
I haven't been disqualified this year at Wichita
Yes,
for
you-
their weekly shows.
oh,
Did they
for the
tech you?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
They even
Liberally.
they couldn't catch the steel paint, covered up all my aluminum parts and stuff.
Okay. You've also made a couple trips up to Concordia.
Yeah, we
Tell us
raced.
about that little place.
It's fun. I mean,
It's
I think
little.
the guy that with the right gear wins the race every time. We went up there the first time. We had a 666 in, and it was all right. Everybody else had a 650 in, so we won. We went up there the second time, and Hollywood showed up and put a hurting on us. I texted him after that, and I said, "Hey, you got a 683 gear?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Can I borrow it?" Like, sure. I said, "Next time we go up to, both of us go up to Concordia, I want to borrow your 683. He's like, "Well, that's what I was running." I said, "Exactly." So, no, he's fun to race against. Him and his dad are good people, so
They are. They
I
are.
like to lose against those guys.
So, Tyler, you've, like you say, you haven't got to do much racing this year. You've kind of been focusing on the little
Yeah.
cars for your kids.
My son, who's 6 years old, we just started racing quarter midgets with him, which they're they're similar to go-karts. It's a full cage, it's full suspension, so, springs, the whole works. I mean, they're really similar to like a sprint car or a midget. I mean, obviously they're a scaled-down midget. And we've been going to Topeka a lot to race with him, which Topeka has their Topeka Quarter Midget Association over by Heartland Park, which is a 1/20th mile asphalt track. They have about 50 or 60 cars every single week that they race, about 8 to 10 classes. And so we've been doing that most of the summer with him.
Okay.
Probably 6 or 8 times. He won 3 out of the first 4 weeks we were there with the novice class, and we finally moved him up into the competitive junior Honda class, which is they do different restrictor plate sizes for each class, which gives the engine more air, makes the engines go faster.
Sure.
So we started out with the junior novice. He was running like 8.5 second laps. Well, now with the junior Hondas, they're running right around 7.2 second
Wow.
laps, which on a little track like that, a 1.5 lap difference is
That's
quite a
getting it
bit.
Cooking. Yeah. Hey, we got to take another break. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk to Trace and Justin. I know his kids have been kind of getting involved in this thing, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to be right back here on Race Talk Live here at Maddie's Grill and Chill, 1844 North Ninth. Come and see us. We're going to take a break. And welcome back to Race Talk Live here at Maddie's Grill and Chill. Bobby Potts joined here with my daughter Jessica, and we got Trace Ayers and Tyler Bradshaw and Justin Kinderknecht.
Hey-o.
Once again, before we kind of went to a break, we was talking about how racing's getting to be kind of a family deal, and I know my daughter Jessica and Melanie sitting over here. You guys have grown up like around the racetracks.
I think
Whenever
that's
we
an
go on,
understatement.
whenever we go on a vacation, we would never go to like.
We don't go to the lake.
We
We,
would
don't
never
go
go-
on a boat.
No, never
No.
done any of that.
No, we
We'd
go dirt
always-
track racing.
We'd always end up at a racetrack. Never
Yeah.
been on an airplane.
Nope.
So,
Went on a bus trip once. We went racing
where'd we go?
to Texas.
Oh, that's right.
Rode a bus all the way to Texas.
That's right. Went to NASCAR race.
1999. I was 10 years old. Try riding that long on a bus.
You remember that?
Before tablets.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I remember that. The only biggest thing I remember is walking through Dallas and you kept doing the whole turning, looking over your shoulder thing, and you kept telling us that Walker Texas Ranger was going to show up.
Oh. That's right.
Bad thing about it is you believed it.
I was 10. All right. Pretty gullible.
Still gullible.
Hey, hey, hey.
So, you guys all got families. Like Tyler was saying, he's bringing Brody up, through this quarter midget thing. I think last weekend, you guys, Justin and that guy over there,
That's
Trace.
Trace.
That's Trace.
Yeah.
You guys got your kids going in the little quarter midget. Is this going to lead to anything?
At least for us, I think it is. Me and Kendall had a chat after we left the racetrack Saturday night, and I asked her if it was something she wanted to continue to do, and she said yes. And,
She had fun, huh?
that was important for me to make sure that it wasn't something I wanted her to do or that, forced her to do, that she was having fun and she wanted to continue to do it, and she said that she wanted to. So I think we're going to look into that for at least next year. See how we can afford the financials of it at least. But I know we can't do that late model racing, so something's got to give there in that situation.
So, talking about these cars, Tyler, you being involved in it the longest, what's one of these things cost?
Race ready for like the junior Honda and the novice classes. We can find race ready cars between $1,500 and $2,500 race ready
Okay.
in good shape.
Okay.
Fire suits and all the equipment. It's right around $450 to $500 for brand new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff you can find online, used and things like that, cheaper than that, because kids obviously grow out of things.
So do adults, but
Yeah.
I gotta buy a bigger fire suit every year.
No comment, Trace.
left side's weight's good sometimes.
Not in this case.
Sorry, go
Then
ahead.
Why does the left
But
foot
yeah,
still care?
they and a lot of these kids, especially like when they get to the Topeka Quarter Midget Association, for instance, there's two different sanctioning bodies. There's a Quarter Midgets of America, and there's USAC also sanctions quarter midgets as well. When they do their races, there's 3 or 4 different engine combinations that they can use, and there's different. They race by age. So like 6 to 9-year-olds race together, or 6 to 8-year-olds, and then 9 to 15 race together. So there's basically junior and senior divisions in each engine. Well, a lot of kids, I shouldn't say a lot, a handful of kids, when you get to the tracks, they'll have 3 or 4 cars, and they'll be running 3 or 4 different classes of quarter
Wow.
midgets.
Okay.
Really, the only difference between the cars is the engine themselves.
I
And
see.
so parents, they'll get spare cars for spare parts and things like that, and so the kid will race 2 or 3 different classes is not uncommon with the quarter midget stuff.
So, when you got into this, did you take Brody? Did you take him and watch? And did it look like something? I mean, did he say it was something he wanted to do?
So actually, this weekend in Topeka is the try it, arrive and drive, I think is what they call.
Okay.
To where you pay $15, I believe, and you show up at Topeka between, I think it's Saturday 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. 11 to 1, I believe, somewhere around there in the time frame. But Saturday morning, you show up, pay your $15. They put your kid in a helmet. I think they even do like a coat, but you're supposed to show up in pants and shoes.
Jeans, sure. Yep.
But they'll give your kid, I think, 10 laps around the track to kind of see if they'll do it. Yeah, there you go. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then there's a rain date for Sunday if that gets rained out.
Where's this little track located?
It's over by Harlan Park. It's University Drive over. What is it?
Justin,
Way to go, Justin.
1121 Southwest University Boulevard in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
It's over towards Hartland Park. It's about a half mile away from the entrance of Hartland Park.
Okay. Has this
but-
track been there a while?
Yeah, it actually.
Really?
I mean, I believe even. I even know the Fairchilds were Karras and Chase both raced up there.
Really?
I'm not sure if it was that track or if it's the same place or what, but I know they raced up. in
So
Topeka
all
quite a bit.
is this all they run? Is little quarter
Yeah.
midgets? No go karts?
No go karts, just all quarter midgets,
It's
and it's a
all-
really, honestly, the facility is really nice. I mean, that was kind of one of the surprises when I got up there is how nice the facility was,
Really?
how well it was done. But we went up to 2 years ago now. We went up to that arrive and drive deal up there, And Brody just loved it.
Really?
I mean,
He got it?
yeah. And so we knew, basically, I think we actually on the way home picked up a car
Really?
to bring back.
Got, you jumped
so,
right into it
yeah.
then.
Don't make
And
him
obviously
don't let him
we
change his mind.
we worked everything over, and we actually didn't start him that year because he was 5. You can start at 5, but we waited till he was 6 just so he kind of understand the flags a little bit better, understand numbers a lot better, work on lineups and things like that. And also at the beginning of the year they do a novice school, to where there's 3 weeks long, and they actually go over lineups. They go over entering and exiting the track. The first class they do is kind of like a classroom setting. They go over they have a diagram of the track. They go over everything, and then the second week you actually go out to the track and you unhook the chains on the cars, and the handlers is what the parents are called. That push the kids around. But we go out to the track and push the kids around so they can work on entering and exiting the track, show them how to line up, single file, then line up double file, where all the lines and things
cool.
are. And then the third week after we go down there, then we put them under power, and they just work on lineups for 4 hours. And trust me, they need to work on lineups for 4 hours because it's
Yes.
it is. I
Just
mean,
with our kids out here, they look like a monkey with a football.
yeah. And so after 4 hours, when Brody's class was doing it for 4 hours, there were 7 cars. There was about 3 rims that got crushed and flat tires.
Oh, boy.
One front axle was bent.
Oh, gosh.
And all this was under caution. And so
It's like a sport mod race.
Oh, boy.
And so,
Yeah. Oh, we've just lost one of our guests. For a
so
little
after we kind of, like I said, I mean, there was some times where you're like, why are we doing this? But I mean, when they spent that long working on everything, a lot of the kids got it.
Yeah.
They learned things, they saw how it was lined up, and it really speeds the rest of the year along. Then I mean, we can spend most of the rest of the time of the year and work on racing lines and work on making them go fast, work on passing and things like that, instead of having to spend hours and hours and just trying to
Sure.
get the kids lined up right.
So, seeing Brody in the car for the very first time, did you know that he was going to like it? I mean, were you impressed?
I was a little bit. I was thinking this was going to be a long summer.
Okay.
For Brody's first time, he went out, and we went out for practice, and he was so they before each wet race they do novice practice for 45 minutes, and he went out the first time, and he was getting lapped by every 2 or 3 car would do 3 laps till Brody's won,
Oh, boy.
and I was like, man, this is going to be a long day.
Yep.
He's happy. So I pulled him off, and I was like, hey, bud, what's wrong? Is the car not working? Can you hit the gas pedal all the way? He goes, no, this is practice. I said, yeah. He goes, well, you go caution speed in practice. I said, no, you can go all the way. He goes, okay. I said, so let's go out next time and let's see if we can hold the gas pedal the whole way around the track. Just try to hold the gas pedal the whole way around the track.
Yep.
And he goes back out there next time, and he's the guy lapping everybody else
Is
3
that
times
right?
to their 1 lap.
Nice.
Door slamming kids up the track. I mean, there was some full contact moves involved with the first time he went out there, and so I pulled him in. And everybody's just like, "Holy cow! What did you just tell that kid?"
Yeah.
We need to tell our kid the same thing you just told him.
Yep.
And so I pulled him in. I was like, "Hey, dude, I can't believe how awesome that was. But now we're gonna have to use the other pedal in the car.
Yeah, the brake pedal.
We're gonna have to worry about the brake pedal. We can't just barrel into people. We gotta be a little bit,
Yep.
a little bit better." And he was almost in tears.
Really?
And so, then I kind of learned that how you kind of have to approach kids is a lot different. Even being a little mild mannered with that, he still thought I was almost yelling at him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes out for the heat race. They usually do 2 heat races. And he goes out for his heat race. And I kind of told him, I was like, hey, dude, we need the first one. You can lay on there. You just got to make sure you use your gas pedal. You use the brake pedal and the gas pedal, and worry about your commitment lines. You can't take somebody's line going into the corner and things like that. Okay, and so we kind of got him in there. He spent the first half of the race just kind of timid, holding his line. Well, he was in third place, and the first place guy got up to lap traffic. And you just kind of see a light bulb click in Brody's head that the first place and second place guy check up, and Brody's just like, well, I've had enough of this. I'm not playing follow the leader.
Time to go, huh?
Just took off, dove to the bottom of the track, and literally picked up like 3/4 of a second through the rest of the race.
Wow.
Lapped everybody, and then the feature rolled around. He did the exact same thing.
Cool.
And so it was really neat seeing it click off. And
Yep.
like, I'm glad it was that way instead of just, there are parents out there that, you'll see the kid, he doesn't want to pass. There's some kids out there right now that are faster than Brody is. They just don't understand and they don't want to pass.
I see.
And so it's a really big learning curve for kids. And kids are moody.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to upset the driver to where, they're done. They don't race that lap, or they don't want to win, or, they want to let their friend win kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really good family atmosphere, though.
Good.
A lot of the kids go out and, all the kids are playing. They're running in and out of the trailers. After the race is over, they don't really notice that kid was driving that car. That's my friend after the races kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So it's really neat.
Yeah. I got a story. We're going to take a break now, but I got a story that probably all three of you can relate to here. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come back with that. But more from Race Talk Live after this time out. Welcome back. It's our last segment here at Race Talk Live. Let's hear from Maddie's Grill and Chill. Daughter Jessica's at 9. Got Trace Ayers, Tyler Bradshaw, and Justin Kinderknecht. We were talking about, Brody and kind of his first time, but you guys all know Corey LeGroom. Kale getting in it. I went with him on their first outing, their first go-kart race.
Emma, Missouri, right?
In Emma, Missouri, little dirt track inside in the middle of the winter. Rode over there. Corey, not really knowing, how Kale was going to take this whole thing, and they practiced, and he went out for his first race. He started in the back and drove into the first corner, and he was kind of timid, like you were talking, and he drove in there, went one lap. Next lap, he drove in on the outside of a guy. Corey thought, wow, that was kind of impressive. Worked his way up, third or fourth, and went into the next corner and kind of doored a guy and another kid, and drove on, passed another one, and got into another one, and he worked his way up. I think he finished like third. I don't know how many was there, but first time out. And Kale comes in, they put the cart up on the stand, and I'm looking around, and all of a sudden Corey's gone. Where in the world's Corey? And he went with like one spare tire and a few tools, Pretty soon here comes Corey back. He has got tire cleaner, tire softener, he's got oil, he's got
Gears.
New gears. He's got a big old handful of. And I go, what'd you get yourself into? And he said, well, I think I'm in. So, that was a fun little trip, and Kale has improved a ton, just like you said. After a few laps, they kind of get it.
I think he's sold now after Trey Zorn letting him jump in his junior sprint. I
They've
think he's
kind of gotten into that deal.
pretty sold on that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest thing with the kids was getting them into a cage.
That's what I was just going to say.
Seat belts and cage, and that's
Do you
kind
think they
of.
feel more, comfortable in with a cage around it? Because the go-karts, they do some beating and banging. They're climbing up on top of each other every once in a while.
Yeah,
So
Brody's already, and even the quarter midgets. They're kids. They're not doing it intentionally.
no,
but
they don't know.
there's full contact that's involved.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear was, especially with the flat carts, the tires. If you ramp over a tire
Oh yeah.
and the cart hits the kid,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it ramps up
and
there.
I mean that was always my biggest fear.
And another deal you was talking about, they took them through little classes to teach them the yellow flags and entering and the flags themselves and stopping and going and lining up and all that. Well, the same deal happened that night. I mean, the flagman threw the red. They start from a standing start.
Yeah.
So the flagman throws a red flag because somebody didn't take off, or they had to restart. Well, one kid comes around there and just slams into the back of the whole pile that's sitting there. I mean, yeah, he didn't know. So, yeah.
And there's a lot of that. I mean, and even if you teach the kids, there's always going to be a little bit of that. Like I said, how much stuff us three of this table have torn up learning and not intentionally hitting people, just learning, making mistakes. I mean, heck, you don't know how many times us three have hit each other, and we haven't meant to.
Justin spun me out for a win.
You had to throw that in there.
But Tyler did door bounce me for a King of the Hill win one night.
Now it's all coming out. Holy cow, we might have had to have another half hour to this show. Trace, Bristol, was that her first time in the car last weekend?
No, that was her second time.
Second time, okay. What'd
Tyler
she think
brought us
of
out
it?
for a little hot lap session the first time.
Yep.
And she did, I thought, pretty decent. And then, so when Tyler called and said, which one of your kids do you want in there? And I said, I don't know. He said, I think you should choose Bristol. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but she was horrible compared to what she was the first time. And I'm going to be so hard on my kids because I don't.
I've seen you at a baseball game. I know.
Mean, I don't know any different, but at least I can say I was there. I'm there for everything they do, and I would expect the same out of somebody else talking to me. I mean, I don't know. I know they're girls, and I don't care about that. It's just at the end of the day, they're still going to go home with me, and I'm going to tell them that I'm proud of them. But I get a little worked up, and I want them to get worked up about it too.
So, Justin, you and Trace pretty much grew up together. Are you hard on your kids as he is on his?
No, not nearly as hard.
Nice, Audra.
I'm the guy that's got to look over at him every once in a while and say, man, you need to calm down. They are 7 and 8 years old right now. Like, this is not life and death.
Earlier when we were talking about families, spending vacations at racetracks and stuff, I think you're kind of in the same boat as my kids. Of course, you grew up around racing. Your dad raced forever, and you spent a lot of time at the racetrack, didn't you?
Yeah, our idea of a vacation was spending 16 hours in a dually heading to Mississippi and racing for the weekend and then coming back. And,
Yep.
We never really took family vacations growing up. It was just racing every weekend or 50 nights out of the year. We were racing.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler? Did you come from a racing family?
Somewhat. I mean, my stepmom, she with the Fairchilds and all that.
Right.
But but for the most part, we were always at baseball diamonds and things like that. I mean,
So
we
you were
grew
more
up
in
playing sports year round everywhere we could be.
This is on camera, you two.
What? I've been caught on
Giving
camera
Tyler a hard
before. Car washes suck.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, so I didn't necessarily grow up. Since I was about 10 years on, we would always be at Salina Speedway watching races. And so not necessarily as much as what say Justin has, but quite a bit. I said it's always something that I've enjoyed, just especially with the mechanical aspect of it.
Sure.
And there's a ton of geometry involved and things that
It's
I've always
tough,
told
ain't it?
Justin I could never outdrive him. I would always have to outsmart him. And it's getting a little bit harder and harder after we do find things out, and then we always tell each other what we found.
Yeah.
So it gets harder to outdrive somebody that's a better driver than you. You have to outthink them, and there's only so much knowledge that can be found these days, especially with as much as the technology has improved racing in the last just 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what? Gosh, this hour like flies by. I wish we could keep on going, but we only got like 2 minutes left. So I know.
Well, that's 955's fault, isn't it?
So Justin, let's start with you. I know you got a lot of people helping you out on the car. You I noticed. Well, sponsor wise.
Oh yes.
I noticed. I seen you. It would have been. I don't know where you went last time. Would have been Thunder Hill, but we got home and you were washing the car all by yourself in the car wash. Don't have a lot of help at the racetrack, but I know you got a lot of help on the car.
Yeah. I mean, mostly Jr. He owns the car. But yeah, me and Trace were talking about that a lot. It's not like the olden days where you got a lot of help nowadays. You know, we used to have to kick people out of the trailer.
Yeah,
but now
you got too
you
much.
can't find anybody.
Yeah. But
If you guys want to come out and help, pit passes are paid.
I did pay Trace's pit pass at Thunder Hill for helping me. So.
Okay. All right.
It's because of my good looks.
Tyler, I know your little deal you got going on with Brody, and of course your Mod Light. I know you're not racing it much, but got any sponsors to thank?
Thank my wife for putting up with me. That's about it.
Big sponsor
And
there.
bringing home every project known to man.
Yeah, she's kind of understanding.
Okay, Trace.
Oh, I want to help. Let's see. Big thanks to my dad. Without him, we wouldn't be doing this. Without him, I wouldn't have got myself into this mess. The stock cars is just something different. Also, I want to thank my wife. I spend a lot of time in the shop by myself, and she's at home with 3 kids, which you can't ask much more than that. But other than that, and everybody that helps on the car, Rick Slothire's been a big help, and he's helped me quite a bit through this, and everybody else that just kind of comes up and says something to me. But it's been kind of a down year, and hopefully I haven't let anybody down too much, but we'll try to make it the best possible.
Well, there's still some big shows coming up. I think you're planning on going to the Super Nationals.
We just plan on wrecking another car, but
Well,
No.
maybe not.
well, that was Daniel.
He's got concrete parking.
He's got concrete parking spots.
Daniel stole my car, so
You still got a little bit of summer left, and some big shows coming up to redeem yourself.
yeah.
summer you've
I mean,
had.
I don't know. I don't ever feel like I need to redeem myself because I'm not out there for anybody else but myself. Because if I was out there for somebody else, they'd be helping me in the shop all week long. I mean, come on. I mean, I really don't give. I don't give a crap what anybody thinks or anybody says. I just kind of go out there and do it for yourself, and I think that's the way everybody should be thinking.
Okay. Well, it's that time.
Nice.
Jess, thanks for sitting in. You did a good job.
No problem.
And once again, got a big special thanks to Dean Glenda. He set up all this stuff because I had no idea how to do any of it. So a big special thanks to Dean for that. And Jared running the board did a fine job tonight. Thank you, Jared. Once again, thank you guys for coming. I know
Thanks for having us.
we got a big table full of food over there. It's looking awful good. So you still
Perfect
got
timing,
time.
right,
Come
Justin?
on down to Maddie's Grill
Perfect
and Chill.
timing.
So, from Bobby Potts and Bill will be back next week, hopefully, right here on Race Talk Live. Thank you very much. See you all next week.